Hello po sa inyo lahat. Maraming salamat po sa walang sawang support. Today po ay naimbitahan para po makipagkwentuhan sa atin at magbigay po ng kanyang reaction about sa ano po ang mga mangyayari this 2026, mga updates sa mga balita, and ano po yung nafo-foresee natin on the political landscape this 2026. So, as an introduction, don't forget po to share, like, and subscribe sa ating YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify sa mga mahilig makinig sa audiobooks. Today, ating na-invite ay isa po siyang guro at kasali din po siya sa mga kapisanan po ng journalist sa Philippines, and also one of the people that I admire, and also I look forward with all of his content specifically for education. But furthermore, maraming din po siyang mga in-depth experiences at saka political insights that has been rooted from his passion for politics. So without further ado, hayaan na po natin siya mag-introduce for himself. Please welcome Spokesjet.
Hello, good morning po sa inyong lahat. Good morning. Thank you for inviting me, Billy. Sa lahat ng mga nanonood ngayon, this is Spokesjet. I'm currently celebrating my third anniversary sa political vlogging compared sa iba po ko. But of course, I'm still learning and there's always room for growth. Kahit ano ako, kahit busy ako sa PhD studies ko, sa turo, at saka sa aking siyempre sa aking advocacy, I still make time for this because dito nakakatagpo ako ng voice and also nakaka-contribute ako sa pagiging nationalistic and patriotic, and of course yung kahit na ba yung family ko dinidissuade ako na yung magpolitika, political vlogging. At sabi ko, basta ako, style ko rin yun. At saka, hindi naman ako mapapahamak. Besides, naniniwala ako, Vox Populi, Vox Dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God. And so kapag hindi tayo nagsasalita tungkol sa mga current issues at hindi tayo nagpa-propose ng solutions, that means that we are just existing. We're not living. We are just there, but we are not actively there. Yun. Yun lang, basically.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason why I also invited you. Kasi as I
Thank
said
you.
earlier, it's good to know a different perspective about politics, especially you have been politically vlogging for quite some time. And I guess I also would like to share to a lot of listeners na isa ka ding member of the Journalist Society, right? Kapisanan ng
Actually,
mga
National
journalists.
Press Club of the Philippines ang tawag doon.
Oh, National Press Club.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Ayan, so may pagkakataon tayo, bigating guest natin ngayon. So pakinggan nyo at take note of all of his insights for our topic today. So starting off, po sa mga makikinig sa atin, when you guys have questions, we will try to answer it. Just put it down on the comments below, and we will try to answer it and read it to our guest. Sir, so uh, going to 2026, we know 2025 was one of the biggest hit that the President Bongbong Marcos had. Ta naman natin that there was a big impact from his surveys, approval ratings, performance rating from the past few months for 2025. So there was a lot of like plans already na narinig natin that this February 25, there will be a national rally for the Catholic and civic group, and this would be a nationwide, a bigger scale march uh, rally this February 25. What do you feel about this?
Honestly, may talagang tao na they would like to, okay, voice their opinion. They would like to show their anger towards corruption, which is endemic. And so it's their right. However, talaga kapag nag-rally ka against corruption and you rally for the president to be booted out. Because yung pangalawa, yun yung lantarang ginagawa ng ibang mga grupo. And they don't know the thin line between free speech and disrespectful speech. Kasi pag sabing free speech, okay, you talk about the negativities that are happening in the government, okay, in society. But if you want the president to be out of the ball game, then that is a different thing altogether. Kaya tingnan nyo, naaresto tong si Pokis, yes. At saka naaresto na rin tong si Monggao, kinasuhan ng inciting to sedition simply because They are rallying for the people to push the president out of power. And it should not be that way. Why? Because the President Bongbong Marcos is the democratically elected president. We should respect that. No matter what our political color is, we have to respect the fact that he was duly elected by the people by way of voting. So, kailangan natin talaga maintindihan. Okay, pag sa mga rally na yan, huwag na maghahaluan ng kung ano-anong agenda dyan because that would not be a rally for the people, but okay, rather it would be self-serving. Pero sana, kung meron man silang masamang binabalak diyan, 'wag na nilang ituloy. 'Wag nila talagang ituloy because instead of being respected for voicing out their opinion, they would be disrespected for disobeying the law. Kasi 'pag sinabing free speech, meron tayong boundaries diyan eh. We should not be seditious. We should not cause rebellion or anarchy. Okay, anarchy is the worst. Okay, meron tayong iba't ibang perspektibo. But besmirching the name of the president or besmirching the government would redound to legal consequences. Kaya dapat tandaan niya ng mga rallies. Bahala sila. Wag lang kayo manggulo, wag lang kayo magkakalat. Baka mamaya ginagawa niyo, pati yung mga flyover dyan, ginagawa niyong kulahan ng mga damit niyo. Baka mamaya nagtatalon kayo dyan. O baka mamaya yung traffic, pati yung mga bubungan yan, tatalunan. Ay, subukan niyo lang. And the law will deal with you severely. Pero
And I guess it yeah.
sa tingin ko, hindi sila manggugulo, pero pag nanggulo sila, the authorities will be there to capture them, to arrest them.
Yeah, and I really believe that I think it's usually is the reason why the president is still here. Diba kasi kahit papaano, he try his best every time para gampanan yung posisyon niya bilang pangulo. Pero alam natin that there's always a misgiving na hindi naman tayo naghalal ng perfect na pangulo o
Yes,
santo na pangulo.
of course.
Standard is very high na hindi naman kahit other president can actually reach it. And I think there's a lot of sides are talking about the impeachment. And I guess we try to go to the other side of the politics now. Going back, and I know you've heard this story that the former governor of Ilocos, Chavit Singson, had a press conference. He did says the biggest conspiracy ever nasangkot ang Pangulo, the former speaker, bakit may mga ghost projects sa Ilocos region, ano yung rason kung ba't siya connected dito sa flood control issue. I think my question to you, in a general perspective, if you watch some of the clips from that press conference, I'd like to know your reaction. Do you think that the press conference is a flip or flop?
Well, it's a flop because nobody believes a liar anymore. You're worse than a fishwife. You're worse than a rumor monger. Chismoso ka ba? Kalalaki mong tao. Laki-laki ng bunganga mo. How could you? And then you blame the president for those ghost projects. Alam nyo, nung nakita ko naman dyan sa Ilocos Norte, okay naman ang kanilang earthquake at di naman sa wata. Pero yung floods, bali-balita ng mga kaibigan ko, kinakwento pa sa akin ng editor-in-chief ko, si Mr. Giyang sa Ilocos Sentinel where I write. Oh, wala namang baha. Ano naman well prepared naman ng disaster relief. Nung pumunta ako,
And also, Spokeschef, I wanted to ask you more, kasi we all know that former Governor Chavit Singson was tagged as the kingmaker because we all know if we go back to the history,
yeah,
ang isang pinakamalaking reason kung bakit nawala sa posisyon si dating Pangulong Erap Estrada.
yeah,
I think another question I would like to ask you in
go
connected to
ahead.
that history, do you think that there is a comeback of the kingmaker and there will be an Erap 2.0 because of this press con?
I don't think so because after all, I could brand Chavit as not as a kingmaker, but as a troublemaker because he's been
Mhm.
fomenting dissent and he's being seditious too, as we all know.
And would you would you believe saying that statement to former governor? Do you think there is still a credibility for him?
There's still what a chance for him, a possibility to be a kingmaker,
A credibility,
a
a
credibility.
credibility.
Well, he's lost his credibility, and I think he's lost his marbles. After all,
Mhm.
we all know na may mga kaso na si Chavez, lalo na sa land grabbing. So he's lost his credibility. He may have a lot of money, he may be a millionaire or a billionaire, but he's lost, okay, the support of most Ilocos Sur natives just like me. Kasi taga Ilocos Sur din ako. I've never believed in him. I've seen him through not rose-colored glasses, but through the lens of a journalist. Nakikita ko sa kanya he can be capable of violence, he can be capable of murder, he can be capable of any other crime simply because he has a lot of money. But that doesn't mean that he has a lot of money, he can do whatever he wants because by natural law, there are boundaries that will be imposed no matter what he does. Hindi niya magagawa na manipulahin ang mga taong bayan. Di na niya mamanipulahin si PBBM because si PBBM has a mind of his own. He knows what he's doing and he's a tactician.
Yeah, so one of the things also na naalala ko dun sa press conference, may tanong kasi dun yung one of the reporters and I would like to ask your reaction about this. So the reporter was asking uh if you do this press conference, what is your goal or what is your plan? If you want the president to step down by succession, so the answer was, vice president. And then another question came up to him, and the reporter asked if the vice president will be the president. There is a contention between the political parties because not everyone likes Duterte. At ang tanong sa kanya is, if that is the case, how can you ask directly the people, the civic groups, the Catholic, the religious group, to rally against you if you know politically there is no majority support for the sitting vice president to be the president. Ang sabi niya at that time, which is parang kind of weird, pero I think we have the same contentions, but I want to ask your reaction. He said is, well, depende sa kanila, pero I'm not gonna tell them what to do. What do you feel about that answer?
Okay, I think he's just mincing words. Okay, if you would go through not only the speech of Chavit but also his personality, I could say that he's a master manipulator because ang pipiliin niya hindi lang kakampi niya kundi somebody who can do his bidding and the bidding of other oligarchs. Pero ngayon, iba't hindi na pag masyado ang mga oligarko dating sa politika. And itong si Sara, we all know how demented she is. We all know how incompetent and irresponsible she is. And so people would not like to see Sara Duterte sit as president. God forbid. Although constitutionally and technically ito pwede, still, the voice, kailangan pa rin may election. Okay? Kailangan pa rin may election. Pero talaga, sigurado maghahalo ang balat sa tinalupan kapag si Sarang naupo dyan. Huwag siya umupo lest she wants bloodshed. Okay. Kaya masasabi ko dito, Chavit, again, you are one troublemaker who loves to create dissent, not for the benefit of the country, but for your own desire to unleash your manipulative nature. Your machinations would not succeed eventually. If you think you will succeed, then in the long run, you would not because kaya nag-withdraw ka bilang senador because alam mong matatalo ka. Mabuti na lang at nag-withdraw ka kasi kung nakataon ko sa Senado ka pa, hindi ikaw ang naging rabble-rouser, troublemaker, hindi ka fiscalizer kundi fixcalizer. Because you think you can fix other people's problems, but no, you can't because I don't see you as a mediator but just a fixer. Masahol ka pa sa fixer dun sa
Yeah,
LTO.
and I think spokes it's more of like meron siyang a sense of entitlement.
Yes,
Maybe because ano yung nagawa niya before or siguro dahil uh, ma- uh, public official na siya before. I think there is a sense of entitlement. Kasi
absolutely.
ang nagiging problema kasi dito is that nag-iiba ang shift ng politics. Yung recent administration, the same thing, the same politics is always the same. Naniniwala ako that people, electorate have been changing a lot since Pinoy, Duterte, and Marcos. Iba yung shift ng tao at yung sabihin na nating, consciousness nila pagdating sa mga political people or machineries na ginagawa nila sa politics. Going further as we talk, if you guys have questions while you're watching us, we will try to manage to read your questions and then we will ask it directly to Spokesjet. Furthermore, Spokesjet, we go further with the admin now. There is a recent insider report that there is what they call the unlucky nine, that the president apparently was thinking na alasahan if ever na mangyari ito, does this gonna help yung kakulangan ng narrative of the government towards and will it also help the government to reach out to those people na sabihin na nating needed this messaging?
Okay, sa akin naman, okay, although wala pang official talks na may balasahan, it's going to be possible because of course, yung performance ng mga cabinet secretary. And kapag nalaman na may anomalya itong mga cabinet secretaries, if those concerned are going to be booted out. They're not going to be they're not going to be reappointed. And that should be the case because hindi dapat sa cabinet ay yung self-serving secretary. It should be a secretary. Okay, there should be a secretary who is concerned not only with one's agency but also the people, the general population. Paano kapag kunwari itong secretary 'to, kagaya na noon yung kay Loy Saga, biyahe ng biyahe, eh, natural si Sara Duterte kusa naman nag-resign, buti naman. Eh, meron ding iba like si Bonoan kusa na rin nag-resign because, uh, scandal-ridden ang kanyang agency. Ang government po, okay, ay makikinig hindi lang sa sinasabi ng mga cabinet members, kundi pati na rin ng mga tao. Because after all, this is a democracy. This is a country of the people, for the people, and by the people. And so the public must be vociferous in airing their opinion, their experiences, so that malalaman ng presidente kung ano talaga ang nangyayari sa gabinet. Magre-report lang ang mga secretary, kundi nalalaman talaga ang pulso ng masa. Kasi yun ang dapat eh. Yun ang dapat talagang i-consider. Hindi yung kung ano sinasabi ng yung ano, yung cabinet. Kasi malay mo, yung sinasabi ng cabinet, halimbawa sa DPWH, akala natin si Bunoan matino, yung pala hindi. Marami palang under his watch, marami palang anuman. Kung mangyari man itong balasahan, edi well and good para hindi mananatili yung mga tinuturing nating mga langaw o yung mga linta sa administrasyon ng ating Pangulo, sa gabinete, sa executive level, dahil yun talagang pinaka-importanting level. Although the two others are important, legislative and judiciary. Pero ang executive ang pinakamahalaga dahil may pinakamabigat na.
Yeah, and I think Spokesjet, I also want to know your reaction. Is the change in cabinet secretaries, even yung palace officer or yung position ni Yusek Clear, do you think this changes in the cabinet or the officers in the palace, does it be a sign of weakness
Oh, not really.
of the administration?
It's not really a sign of weakness, but of cleansing and of the desire for change. Kapag
Mhm.
sasabihin natin, dahil sa balasahan, weak ang administration, it's like saying na kapag inassess mong isang estudyante, tapos ang estudyante, mababa ang score, parang sinabi mo na
Mhm.
rin yung estudyante walang utak. Eh malay mo, kaya bumagsak yan kasi hindi naman niya naintindihan ng lesson. Hindi naman siya,
Mhm.
hindi ka naman nagturo dyan. Eh, yung konteksto binigay mo, eh, hindi pala angkop sa konteksto natin.
Pero what if I'll change the question? What if the
So,
weakness is coming from what if the question is the weakness is coming directly from the president that he don't know who to choose or like who to choose the best person for that position for the merit, not just by political connection
affiliate.
or kung sino yung tumulong sa election. What do you think about that?
Okay, sa akin naman, yeah, although loyalista ako, it should come from the president himself na nagkamali siya sa ano, sa pag-appoint. Okay. And that should be a learning experience. It should not be touted as a failure on the part of the president, but also as a learning experience and a shift in paradigm. Kasi dapat talaga mag-shift tayo from, okay, familiarity to meritocracy. So far naman, yung kay Vince Dizon, yung pag-appoint sa kanya bilang DOTR, then eventually DPWH Secretary, it's a matter of meritocracy kasi napatunayan na malinis si Vince Dizon. Okay, sa education naman, si Sonny Angara, although hindi ko masasabing politically they're close, sila ng PBBM. Pero masasabi ko, with his work in education reform as a senator, angkop dahil nakikita ng taong bayan na ipinaglalaban nitong si Sonny Angara um, yung reforma sa edukasyon. Eh tingnan niyo si Sara, anong ginawa sa DepEd? Nag-iwan ng malaking kalat, nag-iwan ng ano. So, kumbaga, kay PBBM, it's a learning curve kasi natututunan na niya na maging mas mapanuri. Not to be too trusting, but to be even just a bit wary. Because sometimes
Yeah.
the people closest to you can tend to be acting like snakes, like pythons or rattlesnakes.
And I noticed that too kasi one of the biggest example that I can share to everyone listening is yung first executive secretary niya si Vic Rodriguez, then was
Yeah,
changed to ES Bersamin, and then now changed to ES Recto. I think ako, for me, based sa narinig ko doon sa insider natin sa Palasyo, those first two was been selected due to their ties with the president nung election. But technically, they're not good with managing. Kasi we all know, like for executive secretary, they are the right hand of the president sa mga cabinet secretaries. And I think that, yes, there is an opportunity. And I think it's not a weakness. Pero kasi na para ang bilis magpalit or papalit-palit, para nakikita ng mga anti-Marcos or anti-government that the messaging is not continuous. Dahil pag nag-iba yung nasa posisyon or nasa cabinet, they have a different goal or direction. What do you think about that?
anti-Marcos, you don't know how it is. Mahirap talaga para sa Pangulo na pumili o mag-appoint because he doesn't look merely at the closeness, but also the trust, the merits, the qualifications. Sige, sabihin natin na dengoy si PBBM. Hindi naman inaakala ni PBBM that these two would turn out to be traitors and backstabbers. Ngayon, natututunan na ng ating Pangulo to be a little bit more careful because mahirap talaga kung minsan that the people around you, they would turn out to be turncoats or opportunists. So mabuti na lang at ang ating Pangulo um, ay kumbaga nadarang na kaya alam ng ating Pangulo. Yun. And our president is now
Yeah.
okay, is now more careful. He's now more circumspect. I'm not saying that he's not circumspect, but ang mas may kasalanan doon yung mga taong pinagkatiwalaan. Pero mabuti na lang ang ating Pangulong
Y-
Marcos okay, is not somebody who is gullible and vulnerable. He's someone who still has his marbles and his principles.
y- Yeah, I think Spokesjet, it stems out from the first day that he assumed office. Kasi nakita natin in history, he is the only president that had the highest approval rating on their first day after election, naging pangulo and I think this is the reason why there is a very, very high standard na ibinigay sa kanya ng taong bayan to anything that he decided as the president of the Philippines. I think that yun din yung parang naging disadvantage of having this high standard na inilagay natin sa kanya, having the majority of votes na nakuha for that election, pinakamalaki, more than 50% if I'm not mistaken. I guess that's also sabihin na nating parang torn or tinik sa kanya dahil dito sa nakuha niyang resulta nung election. Going further, marami na rin tayong pinag-uusapan this year. Po
Kaya
ang
nga,
tingin ninyo sa napipintong impeachment naman ni Vice President Sara Duterte knowing that this is the second time around. And we all know that maglalapse na po yung 1 year ban for her case for impeachment this coming February 6th. Do you think that there is a support from the Congress for the second time around?
Yes, there will be because sa nakikita natin, a majority of representatives support the move to impeach Sara Duterte. It's obvious. It's just like seeing somebody commit a crime. Would you let that person go scot free or you make that person accountable? Siyempre, nakita natin, banta si Sarah. Tapos, hindi pa siya nagpapaliwanag tungkol sa confidential funds. At marami pa siyang mga atrocities. Isama na rin yung kanyang pagiging negligent sa duties niya as Vice President. Biyahe na ba't ka kaya biyahe ng biyahe, Sarah? Baka mamaya pumunta ka ng Japan, bibiyahe ka lang para bumili ng Hello Kitty. Hello, girl. Are you lost, Vivid Girl, Sarah? Oh, ngayon, lost ka na rin ulit, Sarah, dahil ma-impeach ka na tiyak yan, girl, ha? Vivid Girl. Oo, ma-impeach ka na, girl. Lost ka. What happened, Vela? Yan ay tatanong sa'yo ng taong bayan. Hindi ka makakalusot.
Spokesman, I think I also would like to share to you that there were
Go lang.
reports inside Camara that even the proponents and the one who endorsed the first impeachment articles for Vice President Sara Duterte, ngayon po nagpapahayag sila na para silang 50-50. There's a lot of contentions between kung parehas na naman ba ito, what's inside the articles, and second, merong contention between the majority of kongresista that they had this inkling na mukhang mananalo ang bise sa 2028 election because the government doesn't have any candidates. What do you think about that?
Sa akin, these are just speculations. Pero dapat ngayon pa lang, magkaroon na ng candidate ang government in order okay, to even the playing field. And of course, to prevent Sarah from winning. Kasi alam naman natin, Diyos ko, Sara Duterte. Sara Duterte, huwag ka na tumakbong presidente. At saka itong mga representative filing impeachment, you gotta be resolute. You have to be you have to be resolute in sticking to your principles because and in fulfilling your decision because hindi pwedeng atras abante kayo, hindi kayo seseryosohin ng mga tao. Ano yun? Kumbaga, nireklamo nyo tapos i-withdraw nyo, ano yun? Ano, nakipagbalikan ka sa asawa mo pagkatapos ka bugbukin at kagatin, kulang na lang kulang na lang ilang paso ka pa sa sahig. Tatanggapin mo pa ba yan? Hindi na. Oh, kaya kung ako yung representative, ay tutuloy ko yung impeachment. Wala akong pakialam because this is not about political patronage. This is not about political advantage. This is about uh, justice. This is about accountability and responsibility.
Pero spokesman, I wanted to do like a thought exercise with you.
Sige lang.
One of the okay, one thing is the weight of the articles of impeachment is nandun na. Pero the question is yung support is another problem. And one of the problems that some of the congressmen were saying na talagang stunt supporters no articles of impeachment last year with for the vice president was they were saying yung nagpasa nung articles of impeachment was the 19th Congress and some or most of them na nagpasa noon nitong bagong 20th Congress are different representative na. They have a different focus. And third, and this is what they said, they felt that the president does not have the messaging and also wala pang napapakitang resulta ang presidente sa flood control project. And one of the issues that they also have is natatakot sila na baka mapasama sila doon sa kakasuhan. So instead of them na mapasama sa kakasuhan, 'wag na lang natin i-pursue yung impeachment para ma-save nila yung sarili nila dun sa issue na yun. What do you think about this?
You know, that is a self-serving move. That is the work of a coward. It is not the work of a real public servant. Hayaan yung matusta, grabe garapal talaga. And I don't approve of this because if you really are resolute in having Sarah impeached, no matter how unpopular you may come across sa inyong mga fellow representatives, gawin nyo. If you're truly principled, if you truly have the willpower and the political will to have Sarah uh, uh, to have Sarah impeached, for her to be held accountable, gawin. Bakit? Anong kinalaman nitong itong kawalan ng kakulangan ng resulta sa flood control? Remember, ang flood control investigation hindi minamadali. Hindi to parang Lucky Me na in 3 minutes ready na. Hindi ganoon. May due process, and you, representative, you're implying that President Marcos is incompetent and dilly-dallying. Hindi totoo yan. Sinusunod ng Pangulo ang
Pero pero Spokesjet, I wanna stop you with that. Ang ganda ng sinabi mo.
sige
He's
lang,
not dilly-dallying. But my question to you is this, we all need
go
to be
ahead.
honest. He and the ombudsman promised something that he did not deliver last year. Can
Okay.
you agree that that is one of the things na nag sabihin na natin politically miscalculated?
Politically what? Pardon? Excuse me?
Politically miscalculated.
Miscalculating. Okay. Sana lang sinabi ng ombudsman at ng pangulo na instead of setting a timeline, a definite timeline na hindi naman masusunod, sana we're going through the process of investigating the flood control scam, and we will determine who must be actually held accountable. Edi mas okay yon kasi we should not be letting people down by way of delaying yung hearing. Okay, sige, nagka-break. Kaya lang, kapag naituloy na yung hearing, dapat tuloy-tuloy na ito. Dapat walang scandal is a very serious issue. And it has taken so many lives. It warrants, it warrants immediate resolution. Kaya lang, with our justice system, kailangan talaga mareforma talaga yung DOJ. Mareforma yung mga paraan how to investigate these flood control scams. And we should also employ technology in order to fast track yung investigation. Okay, nagkulang ang ating Pangulo, sige, to be realistic. But mas mabuti na rin ang may ginagawa at nagkaroon ng konting pagkakamali kaysa na
Pero I think that's the problem. This is just me probably observing what's going on the ground, what has been said last year. I think yun yung parang pumapalya ang Pangulo pagdating sa messaging sa publiko. Kasi para sa akin, mahirap kasi sa ngayon na after the overpromised na ginawa last year na hindi naman natupad, ngayon parang kita natin that yung taong bayan, they're asking the government or even President Marcos na kailangan meron ng mapakulong. Unless merong mapakulong, all of our narratives, all of the narratives ng mga pro-government or loyalista doesn't make any sense because everything stem out from the time na nag-overpromise ang president at ang ombudsman. And for me, I take it like as an opportunity that dapat kahit sinong government official, even the president himself, they should not put a time limit on something that they cannot deliver. I don't know if I'm right. What do you think about that?
sa akin, Billy, if it's a process, it should take time. It's better for a
Correct.
process to take much time and eventually see the fruits of one's labor than to set a
Instead of
timeline, which is not
overpromising.
realistic.
Correct. And I think it's more of it's more of like us taking off our political hat and looking, in a broader perspective na sana hindi na lang sinabi para yung mga tao hindi atat na matapos tong flood control project.
Yeah.
Kasi we all know that there is a long process on gathering
Yeah.
evidence, talking to people, and
Ay,
reaching
totoo.
out to whoever needs to be, interviewed. And I
Wag naman.
guess that's one of the things na opportunity for the president. Kasi ako personally, yes, nagpangulo doon, pero I still believe that there is an opportunity for him to fix it.
Yeah,
Moving forward sa pinag-uusapan, we
naniniwala
go
pa rin ako
further
kay
to
PBBM
the
na kanyang itutuloy ito. Come hell or high water.
yes, yes,
Yun ang
yes,
investigation.
and also moving forward, usapan natin
Okay?
about ICC arrest warrant. What do you feel about dumating na yung arrest warrant, so-called arrest warrant ni Bato at saka ni Bongo? How do you feel the game or the playbook of the minority sa Senate at saka sa
Okay, although hindi pa napaprove, okay, this goes to show that justice is going to work in favor of those victimized by the drug war. Dapat talaga mapanagot tong si Bato dahil siyang isa sa mga chief architect ng drug war. Si Bongo dahil isa rin siya sa mga implementer at gayon din si Albayalde. So nakikita natin dito that although
Pero yeah, pero what do you think would be an effect, especially if we go further sa Senate, sa labanan ng Senate, sa majority and minority? Kasi we all know, lumaki yung minority group pagkatas ng midterm election last year. And if in case, iba to, at makasuhan din si Bongo, do you think that the numbers game in Senate would play a role sa impeachment trial ni VP Sara this coming February?
yes of course, pag kahit may ma-decimate na, may mabawasan, kapag marami pa rin ang resolute na ma-impeach si Sara, ma-impeach talaga yan. Kailangan talaga na hindi lang dapat ito game of numbers, dapat ito ay about justice. This should also be about accountability. Kasi Sara, gaya ni na Batot, Albayalde at Go, you have to be responsible for your action. Hindi kayo naging responsable. Sa halip kasi na inisip nyo ang mga repercussion, inisip nyo kung anong mahihita. Ngayon, sa nakikita ko, tuloy na tuloy ang impeachment ni Sara dahil marami na ang may gusto na mapanagot ang babaeng ito. Ang babaeng nawawala sa sarili. Babaeng nawawala sa sarili no? Kaya, Sara, patawarin ng Diyos pag na-impeach ka. May ano ka na, babagsak din ang iyong so-called Kastilyo. Ang tawag ko dyan ay Kastilyong Buhangin. O tingnan, pati yung aso ko nakakahul sa na ma-impeach si Sara.
Oo nga, eh, mukhang nakikisama sa ating kwentuhan. Another thing too, going further, kasi napag-usapan na rin 'to ng karamihan ng mga vloggers before and I noticed this too. Kumonti yung minority, sa Senado for instance, parang lumalagay na maraming kasong kakaharapin yung minority block ng Senado, either flood control, ICC warrant, or kaso sa ombudsman. Especially si, Joel Villanueva, 'di isa din siya sa parang, may kaso ngayon because of this flood control project.
Yeah.
Kung magkaroon ng unequal balance ng minority, do you think that the president should be complacent?
Kapag
Yung do you think na do you think that the president, Bongbong Marcos, should be complacent na kapag ang impeachment na ipasa from Kamara, na ipasa sa Senado, do you think that that impeachment will go straight
okay,
or 50-50 pa?
sa akin, to be realistic, so the president must be wary. He must be on his
Mhm.
toes all the time to ensure that matutuloy ang impeachment. Although sinabi niya na na regardless, kailangan matuloy. Of course, yung impeachment, sa nakikita ko, it is not about political discord or political moves. This is about making the second highest official of the land answer for her disruptive and egregious behavior. At tama lang namang gagawin ng Pangulong Marcos na kanyang aabangan kung ano mangyayari. Pero hindi siya makikialam because he respects the Senate and the House of Representatives. Pero dahil marami nang galit kay Sara, sigurado ako, tuloy na tuloy ang impeachment na yun. Pero sana lang, wag ma-acquit. Dapat matanggal to sa pwesto. Ano ka, si Bill Clinton, kala mo, nakalusot ka, Monica Lewinsky, eh, halatang halata Sara, pagbabanta mo sa Pangulo, pagbabanta sa First Lady, pagbabanta kay Martin Romualdez, tapos yung confidential fund, napakaseryoso yan. Mas seryoso pa ka sa ginawa ni
Yeah.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah, and I think dahil napag-uusapan na rin natin yung mga cases, especially flood control, isa sa mga sangay ng gobyerno, which is I would say maganda rin na nangyari din na nagkaroon tayo ng opisina ng ombudsman para mag-investigate to issues concerning public officials. With all the things that happened since po si Ombudsman Remulla, How do you rate his job as far as for today? Like from today, from first day to today, 0 to 10 and why?
Kung naman yung mga malalaking isda maaakwit, pero yung mga small time
Mhm.
politician yun ang makukulong, wag naman gano'n. Dapat even mo yung playing field.
Correct. And I think ano may saying 'di ba, yung sinasabi natin less talk, less mistake.
Hmm,
Nasasabi niya yung mga bagay na hindi naman dapat sabihin. And
"Hoy boy,
I think, that's one of his, learnings, I guess.
tama, papa-presscon ka. Ano ka, si Alden Richards, ano ka, si Joshua Garcia, "Hoy, kurang ka na 'no, ang dada-dada mo, parang ano, mas madada ka pa kay OG Diaz 'no." Wag gano'n, trabaho agad. "Hoy, may utang ka ba sa ano, may utang ka ba sa mga taong bayan ng Paranaque? Nagsulat ako sa'yo, naalala mo billing kinuwento ko sa'yo kanina, o ay buhayin mo."
Sa mga hindi po nakakaalam, when I invite guests sa aking channel, we have this 30 minutes buffer. I do briefing sa mga guests ko. May napagkukuwentuhan which is usually we don't share it sa public, ginagawa. Kaya totoo po yung sinabi ni Spokesjet kanina. Dahil napag-usapan natin DPWH, isa sa mga bagay last year na ngayon inaantabayanan ng karamihan, yung pagbabalik ng sesyon ng Kamara. What do you feel about Congressman Leandro Leviste?
Ni Viste, "Huh, I don't believe him. He's a charlatan, boy, because you're not mature. And besides,
Yun nga, una nakita ko yung mga pictures and videos plus yung witnesses that actually certified parang na nangyari yung parang hablot or force ng pagkuha ng mga documents. Parang nalungkot ako kasi para lumalagay na parang naging biktima pa pala si Cabral at napuwersa siyang magbigay ng
santos ba?
papeles. Masakit man sa loob ko, pero hindi natin ma-authenticate yung dokumentong hawak niya, eh, 'di ba? Wala na yung mag-authenticate. So, sayang yung opportunity na sana nung September pa lang in-authenticate niya na kay Cabral, 'di ba? Kasi September pa lang meron na sa kanya yung document, eh. I think another question I want you to explore sa reaction mo is do you think it was miscalculation politically kay Leviste about sa Cabral files? Kasi nakita natin ang una niyang pinuntirya nun is si Representative Guardiola. Pagkatapos nun, tumawak na nagbigay siya ng listahan na ang pronouncement niya, lahat ng nasa listahan is corrupt. Tapos Christmas bonus
Hmm,
na ang sabi niya para daw to be against sa minority or yun sa mga Christmas bonus para sa impeachment trial ni VP Sara. Do you think na being a neophyte congressman, is it worth it yung ginawa niya sistema?
no, because you're an apprentice, you're supposed to listen, to observe, to ask questions. Gagawa ka ng sariling and nangyari kay Joan of Arc, binarbecue siya ng buhay, pitutan na ng buhay. Bakit mo kasi ginagawa yon? Alam mo, kung ako sa'yo, dapat tumutok ka sa constituents mo. Huwag ka masyadong presumido, presumido ka ng problema mo. Masyado kang pa-impress. Sino ba ini-impress mo sa kongreso? May chiclet ka o may boylet
Yeah.
mo. Hubris is an indicator of a person's insecurity.
Actually, one of the things na napansin ko sa kanya is, nagkaroon siya ng press conference,
Mm,
nung sinabi niya about sa Christmas bonus and a lot of congressman para nagpaliwanag na hindi yung Christmas bonus, it's an operational expenses. During holiday nga ba merong mga holiday parties na ginagawa ng mga constituents
bono.
and when even Egay Erice corrected him on the same press conference. I really think that this is something na kailangan niya matutunan na talagang nagsisimula ka pa lang, kailangan mo ng connection muna, 'di ba? Kaysa banggain mo yung sistema na wala kang kaalam-alam. I think it was a miscalculation. Moving forward, uh, going to uh, going to the new MMDA General Manager, former General Torre. What do you feel about his future? What do you think about what can he contribute sa ahensya?
He's going to be successful because he has earned his tribe. He has shown great character. Kaya magtatagumpay siya doon. Magiging mas masaya ako higit kapag siya ang naging chairperson. Hindi si Don Artes. Kasi Don Artes, ang hina At saka alam mo Don Artes puro ka ngak-ngak na ngak-ngak. Ano ka pato sa Hagonay, Bulacan ang ingay. Si General Torre ano, at saka nakikita ko dito kay General Torre, he is also a good tactician. Paano niya na ano napapayag si Dutingting na sumama sa dahig. Eh kung ibang ano yun, di tinakas na o kung ano man. Etong si General Torre nakikita ko, he is going to be well respected sa MMDA. Oh, although hindi malulutas agad ng mga traffic, ibang ano, ang importante mayroong ginagawa, may mga magandang simulain. And I look forward to those being a resident of Metro Manila.
Yes, and I think that's another thing na lagi ko nakikita when there is changes in government, especially with position. Kasi different person have different perspective, different din yung focus nila, and sometimes a different mind, a fresh start, benefit the entirety ng ahensya at saka yung pinamumunuan nila, which is the taong bayan. Because we reach our 1 hour mark, grabe, ang dami ko natutunan
Ako rin.
at hindi ko akalain we will reach this long hour.
Ako nga.
Pero sa mga nakikinig po, thank you for your
Hello
support. Dahil
everybody.
nandito na tayo ah, sa last part ng ating podcast, we will end it, Spokesjet, with a question and you can answer it po. And I think my question po sa inyo and I want to ask your reaction. Isa po sa press conference ni Ombudsman Remulla sa kanyang this recent press con niya, sinabi niya po that there are upon their study na marami daw pong mga corrupt na mga empleyado ng judiciary system, mga huwes, judges, sabi niya po ay corrupt. Yung iba daw po pinapahina ang kaso kapag maimpluwensya or may para daw po ma-acquit. Yung iba naman, they try to delay the cases para in favor of the people na may sala, which is has a influence or money. What do you think na dapat gawin ng ombudsman? And being a person na lagi siyang nasa press conference, what
Hmm.
also can you add, like an advice for him moving forward?
Okay, advice ko sa'yo, Ombudsman Remulla, hindi na kita tatawagin kuya ha, hindi ka cropped up. Dapat gumawa ka ng research. Dapat may evidence. You should back up your claims with pieces of solid evidence. Halimbawa, kumbaga, para kang nagre-research, para kang nagre-report ng findings. Ano sasabihin? Saan mo nakuha yung findings mo? Saan nagaling yan? Sa hangin? dapat substantiated yan. Kasi ang ginagawa mo sa tingin ko is sweeping generalization. Okay, nangyayari yun, pero kailangan may exact figures para maniwala ang tao. Not to sway them not to sway them so that they could believe you, but of course to substantiate whatever you say because nowadays people tend to believe you more if you have figures and anecdote. Dapat talaga gumawa kayo ng ongoing research dyan sa yung kung ano nangyayari at gumawa kayo ng report. Bakit di nyo gawin yan? At saka wag ka lagi nasa press con. Bakit? Ano ka ba? Ano ka ba? Artista ka? Tag-sparkle ka? Sino ka? Si Ian Veneracion ka ba? Si Anton Vincent ka ba? Si Christopher Martin ka ba? Si Alden Richard ka ba? Huwag ka masyadong sa press con. Dapat may spokesperson ka doon. Di ba ang spokesperson mo si Miko Clavan? Huwag mong sabihin ayaw mo siya pasaltay kasi mas gwapo siya sa'yo. Nakikinig ako kay Miko Clavano. Mas may papaliwanag niya ng gusto kaysa sa'yo. Kasi Diyos ko, humal ka na magsalita, hinihingal ka. Dapat meron ka oxygen. Si Miko Clavano, may substance yan, batang-bata, at may face value. Oo. Siyempre, ikaw na ang ombudsman, ikaw pa spokesperson, dapat yung spokesperson na magsalita, hindi ikaw. Dapat as a head, you should not be overexposed, ha? You should always be sometime behind. You should let the frontliners shine, okay? Gawin mo yung trabaho mo yung mga pending na kaso, ha? Sasabi ko sa'yo. At saka huwag ka masyadong huwag ka laging papansin sa media. Baka mamaya na-overexpose ka, meron kang sinasabi na yung pala, hindi naman pala totoo. At saka yung mga hospitalization, bakit mo pa sinasagot yun? Makikita naman yan eh. Kung meron kang kung kunwari, nagpayat ka ng husto, o di kaya nagbago ang boses, yung sinasagot kung binanatay like a person with humility and full of humanity.
Na marinig yan ni ombudsman, ayan. S
Yeah.
and, also before anything else, ako pong personally magpasalamat, I learn a lot from your insight and, I think a lot of people here while listening to you marami rin po silang, natutunan from your insight and I guess, people should be aware. I guess people should be aware of what's going on in our politics, not because may political leaning ka, loyalista ka, DDS ka. I think it's more of like when you're aware of something, nalalaman mo kung ano yung mali sa tama eh. Kung may corrupt o walang corrupt. Kung sino yung boboto mo at hindi mo iboboto for the next election. And we should be honest to ourselves that there are times may pagkukulang ang pangulo, ang gobyerno, mas marami pa tayong pagkukulang bilang ano, botante. At para maiwasan natin yung pagkukulang natin, there are platforms like us, Spokesjet, na puwede kayong makinig at, matuto ng mga bagay-bagay para kapagka nagdesisyon kayo for election, just the same as 'pag naghanap ka ng trabaho, pumasok ka sa school, nag-apply ka ng scholarship, taas ang standard at hindi lang tayo familiarity 'di ba, or sa vlogger na fina-follow natin, but on our own rights on how we gauge this candidates. So I guess, maraming maraming salamat po and as always, thank you po sa lahat. Before we
Thank
end,
you din.
please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe sa ating YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Spotify sa mga gustong makinig lang on audios, and our YouTube po. So maraming maraming salamat po and have a great day. Thank you po.